Hi everyone. What's up? What's up? What's up? I know I came on. I didn't let anyone know I was going live. I kind of like it that way, and you just have to find out if I came live. And how is everyone doing? This is Kim Ainari, and you are at Paradigm Theories. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. It is September 18th, 2025. Whoa, where is the time going? So I thought I would hop on. I'm so sorry. I have not. It is 10:56 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, um, I'm starving. I've been busy. I am actually on call for my job today, so I don't know if I'm going to be going in. We'll see. So I thought I would hop on because it's been a while, and I'm hoping you guys keep your notifications on because you never know when I'm going to hop on. And oh, yeah, that's how that is. Welcome, welcome. So you guys know I love to come on and talk about UAP, which is an unidentified aerial phenomenon. I love to talk about ancient history, especially Egypt and other countries that have megalithic, all kinds of rock formations, things that I don't even know how they were built, right? And I don't want to talk politics, won't go there even on my social media. I know some people on my X, which is private. I'm sorry, my X is not private. My X is public. It's my Instagram that's private. But on X, it's very public. And I have all kinds of people that follow me, all kinds of political views. And if you want to go there, more power to you. I just don't want to get involved. But anyway, I'm happy to be here. I hope everyone is doing well. And, I just kind of thought I would just hop on. Nobody's in the chat because people are probably busy. And kind of read some things. And you'll hear me eating because, like I said, I'm kind of hungry. My breakfast is berries today. You can see blackberries and raspberries and blueberries. I have some yogurt. Haven't had nothing to eat. Hi. So I thought I would read some things that may or may not interest you. And this is kind of making its rounds on social media. And so Stefan Burns on YouTube, interesting last name. I don't know if that's his real last name. I know that he used to be on the Science Channel. And he likes to go and talk about specifically the sun, the solar flares, and the sun is amazing. It's just our father, the sun, right? And so we are being swarmed with all of these comments, and I'll read about that later to you all. And thank goodness, I don't think any will hit Earth, but there could be a oopsie somewhere, maybe. Hopefully not, because that would be catastrophic if that did happen. So I want to read about today, September 18, 2025. And this is from Live Science website. And the title says, skyscraper-size asteroid previously predicted to hit us in 60 years. I don't think I'll be around for that. Will zoom past Earth on Thursday, which is today, September 18th. And you can see it live. It's ginormous out there. So I think with your naked eye, it'll be, I think, close to the moon, and you'll be able to see this asteroid. So let me read what it says here. The potentially hazardous asteroid 2025 FA22 will fly close past Earth at more than 24,000 miles per hour on Thursday, September 18. The space rock was previously predicted to have a slim chance of impacting our planet in 2089, temporarily earning it the top spot on a major risk list. So it's September 18th. It's here. And you can see it zoom past for yourself. This is what it says, either by using a backyard telescope or via a free online live stream. This asteroid, which was discovered earlier this year, was initially predicted to have a slim chance of hitting our planet in 2089, which I just said. But following new observation by the European Space Agency, ESA, it is no longer considered an imminent threat. Thank goodness for that. The space rock, dubbed 2025 FA22, is somewhere between 427 and 951 feet, or 130 and 290 meters across, making it large enough to wipe out a major city were it to collide with Earth. Wow. It will reach its minimum distance to us in the early hours of Thursday, coming with 520,000 miles close to our planet, just over twice as far away from us as the moon, and will be traveling at around 24,000 miles per hour. That's amazing. So, if you all have a telescope, backyard telescope, I guess it doesn't have to be that powerful for you to actually observe and see this FA22 asteroid. And it's not a comet. It's not like A1 Atlas. That is a comet that has a tail. It's an asteroid, so it's a big rock. So that's kind of interesting. So that's happening. Let me take another of my berries. Let's see what else. Now, let's talk about Mars. So NASA, good old NASA, never a straight answer, claims it's found the clearest sign yet of past life on Mars. This is incredible. I want to put a link up to Billy Carson that actually on his website, mainly on IG, YouTube, and he has forbiddenknowledgetv.com. It is a subscription. And me and my brother, he pays for it, so I can kind of get in on there. Billy is amazing. Billy has been talking about rock formations and strange formations on Mars. And he did a YouTube video last week about what I'm going to talk about. And these are actual images that were taken, I want to say 15 or 20 years ago on Mars, or somewhere along that line. And the thing that's interesting are these formations. It's just, they look like another species was around on Mars and had left their mark. Now, I don't know why NASA just doesn't come out and just say that these, they're seeing megalithic work there, pyramids, crashed vehicles, like unknown crashed vehicles. And clearly they haven't wiped out these photos yet, but it's interesting. It really is. And I'll put a link up to that particular YouTube video where he's talking about that, and kind of toward the middle is where he's actually showing you of these strange looking formations of all kinds. And do I believe that, I'm not saying it was humans. I think it was some type of, maybe an NHI of some kind. An alien is such a strong word. It's just, I feel like there's so many different species out in our solar system and interstellar system, and that they probably have landed on some of the planets within our solar system, specifically Mars. I'm sure they've been on the moon. And my planet, Jupiter, I'm Sagittarius. Unfortunately, you can't land on there. There's no dirt or rock formation. It's just a bunch of methane, hydrogen gas. So you would just fall through all of that. But you never know. All the moons that surround Jupiter, and there's a lot of them. I don't know if they've all been explored, and they should be, because there might be something on one of those moons that orbit Jupiter. What's up, Ghost? I know. I didn't let you know I was coming on. Hi. And how was Anya's birthday? Tell her I said hi and happy birthday, okay? Anyway, so I'm going to read about a short couple of paragraphs about NASA claims it's found the clearest sign yet of past life on Mars. Interesting. I find that interesting. And let me just say hi to my friend here. Anyway, so I want to put that on there. Anyway, this is what it says. And we know that NASA's Perseverance rover is on Mars to this day. So it says, this article says, strange nodules of unusual minerals found on speckled rocks on Mars have offered more tantalizing clues that ancient life may have once thrived on the now dead planet. NASA's Perseverance rover found one such arrow-shaped rock nicknamed Chayava Falls in 2024 along the northern bank of okay, look. They got some strange names here. Anyway, it was a dried up remnants of an ancient river that once rushed into Mars' Jezero crater. Interesting. Really, really interesting. I find that, if some of the things NASA's going to tell you and then other things it's not. And so you just have to kind of I think we all should understand that whatever created our planet, or whoever created the other planets, solar system, universe, was a very busy person, right? Maybe it was more than one. I don't know. But yeah, I just find that interesting. They figure there might have been life. There was obviously water on Mars. So, maybe if they dig down deep enough, might be some water inside of Mars somewhere. Maybe, or maybe not. Let me see what else, guys. Let me see what else. Oh, I'm going to put a link up because I just started following this new YouTube channel. When I look on my iPad, I talk to you guys, which I really am in support of Dan, who was a part of the UFO podcast. And Dan is originally, I believe, from the UK. And I think he is now in the United States, and anybody that follows his not IG, he's been on X, and now he has branched out. And guess what, guys? He's now one of the main people on Ancient Aliens. He's part of the cast now. I find that great because Ancient Aliens, not to say, all those guys they're kind of long in the tooth. They're getting older, and you gotta find new people. I also know, you guys, if you don't know, I love Matt LaCroix. And Matt has been on Ancient Aliens. He's part of Gaia, and love, 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 love Matt. I'm hoping to see him soon. He does conferences and things like that. And I would love to meet him in person. He's a researcher, and he just is really involved with Turkey and Göbekli Tepe and other megaliths over there in Turkey. And so he's got a crew together, and he's going to have his movie or documentary out. I'm in support, and we'll be paying my coins. I'm hoping it's either going to be on Apple or wherever, and or maybe, who knows if it's, I'm hoping it's going to be streamed. If it's streamed, I will pay for it because he's an amazing person. And Dan is also a great person. So I will put that link in, let's see, it's called, he just launched. So Dan just launched his new YouTube channel. I'm in complete support. And it's called What It Means to Be Human. He has over 6,000 followers right now. Congratulations, Dan. And so he has, there's a gal on there with him. She is Rosalind Mugford, but she goes by Roz, and she sounds like she's a really interesting person. I like her personality online. And so she is the co-host with Dan. And Dan is probably going to have some really interesting guests on. So if you're into UAP, UFOs, and things like that, Dan is really somebody that you want to have and kind of watch, because he's coming out with some interesting interviews that he has. Oops. Sorry, guys, that he has lined up. Sorry about that. So anyway, I'll put that link up. You can check him out, Dan and Roz, on What It Means to Be Human. So it's really cool. People are doing their thing. Let me see what else is going on. This is going to be a short, I hate to say it. Don't have a lot going on, guys. Like I said, I'm on call for my job. I may have to go in, but I may come back later. You never know. It just depends where I'm at. But let's see what else is happening out there. We can let me see if I can get the debrief on. Now, I've been following the debrief mainly on X, and so the debrief is a really good website if you guys want to learn the latest of science. They also do some things on UAPs, astronomy, space technology. And so I will also put that link up. So I'll put the link up for the debrief and for Dan's YouTube channel. Okay, so the main thing that's going online right now is that asteroid that's here. It's here today. That is, so if you have a telescope or anything like that, or maybe you can see it with your eye, depending on, it's really cloudy here where I live. I can't really, it looks like it's going to rain. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's kind of cloudy. So I'm not going to be able to see anything. But, I wanted to read about this too. So if you just joined, hello, how's everybody? Good to see you. Yes. I'll let you know, Ghost. I'll let you know. I hopped on because, like I said, I'm also have my phone because I need to see if I get called in, and then I have to go quickly out of here. But so far so good. All right, so let's read another article from the debrief. And I'll put the link up if you guys are interested in looking at this particular website. They do talk a lot about UAPs, UFOs, and things like that. But all their tabs have different things on them. And so one of them talks about the sun is slowly waking up. NASA warns that dangerous solar storms are on the rise. So, okay, Ghost. Yeah, I'll hit you up on IG later, okay? Yeah. So I follow Stefan Burns, and what's funny, or maybe it's not funny, because he will go on his YouTube channel. He basically is kind of on there sometimes twice a day. And Stefan used to be, excuse me, I need to eat. Hold on. I'm so hungry. I do apologize. Really talking about the sun. And so this is on the debrief. This is an article on the debrief about the sun. And I think so let me read it and let me tell you what I think about it. Okay, so new NASA findings indicate that potentially dangerous solar storm activity has been ramping up over the last 2 decades, suggesting a longer-term deviation beyond the known 11-year solar cycles. Before 2008, the data collected since the 1980s indicated a notable lull in solar activity, which has since reversed itself. Solar flares, solar storms, and coronal mass ejections are examples of the type of increasing disturbances that could have detrimental effects for us on Earth. We're on our planet compared to some of the others. We're just this blue planet, Earth, bobbing up and down, right, in the solar system. We have the other planets that are within our solar system that is also bobbing up and down. Earth is tilted, right? Sometimes I feel like my frequency is not quite there. And I think people take it for granted that, and I used to teach this when I was teaching meditation, you have to have Earth to stand on. But it is a violent planet as well. There's earthquakes and volcanoes that have wiped out people. Earthquakes have wiped out people. There's floods that have wiped out people. Tornadoes have wiped out people. Hurricanes. We've had comets, even though there were tens of thousands of years ago or whatever, that wiped out the dinosaur. They have found proof that has happened. This planet used to be lush and green and very humid and hot. And these large dinosaurs and all kinds of animals, humans were not around supposedly at that time, but a comet or an asteroid, not a comet, an asteroid hit this planet, exploded, and sent dust in and around our planet, killed all the dinosaurs, and I don't know, they couldn't breathe. And it had a fast ice. All of this freezing ice came and froze animals that actually were frozen in the tundra that had food in their mouth. So this happened fast. How did it go from that extreme of heat, nice tropical heat, and this asteroid came down and then it froze? So, that could happen. Don't ever take things for granted about the planet that we walk on, because anything can happen at any time. So be grateful for this time. I'm grateful that my few people are here. Be grateful for that you woke up this morning, because anything can happen in your sleep, right? But anyway, so, all right. So we know that Earth is very violent. So this came out in a paper presented by the Astrophysical Journal Letters. A history of solar storms. I'm not going to read because there's a lot of paragraphs, but solar storms are generated by a particularly strong magnetic activity. Sunspots are darkened, cooler points on the solar surface. The spots are often concurrent with events that may be of concern across the solar system, such as a sudden burst of radiation called solar flares, and the enormous plasma bubbles known as coronal mass ejections. Now, why hasn't a solar or a coronal ejection, a solar flare, has it ever touched Earth? Will it ever happen? If that happens, that could wipe out half the planet. What makes it stop, right? What makes us think that that can't happen? So, since the 1600s, astronomers have long noted that sun's turbulent nature. Galilei, and other astronomers of that era observed sunspots and recorded how they changed over time. Those astronomers identified a period from 1645 to 1715 during which solar activity significantly diminished. Another quiet spell began in 1790 and lasted all the way through to 1830. We don't really know why the sun went through a 40-year minimum starting in 1790, said lead author Jamie Jasinski of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. The longer-term trends are a lot less predictable and are something we don't completely understand. Wow. Interesting. So, of course, we've got so much debris around Earth, satellites all over, and so we have electronic devices that monitor the sun and all the planets, everything, right? And so they track it. And you know what I find interesting is that I got my iPhone, I'm on an iPad, I'm on an HP laptop, all these things, right? And they have had interruptions. And so when Stefan Burns comes out and he says the solar ejection is going to happen within a couple of hours, it's very strong, and people are just like, yeah, so what? And then all of a sudden you can't get online. That's what happened to me on, I think it was Monday evening around 10. And I tried, and I called, and I was like, what is going on? They don't know. They couldn't get my internet back on until the following morning. That's nuts. And so, but he said, Stefan Burns talked about internet or Wi-Fi or both interruptions. So we can only control ourselves. We can't control the sun. The sun's going to do what it wants to do. If it wants to stop and put more internet Wi-Fi interruptions on a daily basis, it can do that. Why should it care, right? Anything can happen. So I'm like, always have books around. I mean, I'm a little bit older than some of you guys, but we have to think back in the day, we didn't have computers, we didn't have little Kindles reading books. We had actual books. We had to write letters. There was no phones around. So, we don't know what we would do if we couldn't get online for several days, weeks, months. That would be crazy, right? Can you even imagine that? Is there some kind of generator that we could get on, go to Starbucks or someplace, a little coffee shop, and plug it in and see if we can get online to talk to people? I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility, but I wouldn't want that to happen. That would be hard, right? Okay. So those are some things that are happening right now. And so I'm trying to see if there's anything else not political that is going on. Oh. Yes, the UAP hearing was last week. I happened to be home that day. It was amazing. Um, so if you guys are into UFOs, I thought it was probably one of the better hearings that we've had from the House, and Representative Luna um, was just it was just amazing how they showed this particular unidentified aerial phenomena. This is over Yemen, and that UAP is just minding its own business. Of course, we're following it. We had 2 drones, I believe, on either side of it, and we're following this particular UAP. And then this Hellfire missile, because we're just crazy like this UAP is not really doing anything but just flying around. That's what it does. They decide to launch a Hellfire missile into the UAP. Oh my gosh. All right. And Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp have talked about it for years, and they finally showed. They probably have other videos that they can't really put out yet, but they have said that our country, United States, has actually fired on UFOs or UAPs, and nothing happened. Nothing. So the video showed the Hellfire missile coming in, hitting the UAP. The UAP was kind of rotating anyway. It hit the UAP, this missile. It didn't break up the UAP. The UAP, what came out of it is really interesting. 3 other little baby UAPs came out of it and followed the big UAP. The missile went out that way. They said, I don't know if it broke apart or whatever, and just kept going. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp came out and said that the video is actually longer. I would have liked to have seen the longer version of it. Like, oh, you guys are trying to kill me? I think it was the mothership. I think it was a mama. And that those babies were inside of her. And the babies came out. And the babies follow the mama. And I think that's what happened. I think that's what it was. It was a mommy, mother, UAP, and babies were inside of her because they were smaller. And they came out. They're like, and she just kept going, and they followed the mom. I know I'm thinking outside the box, but sometimes you have to when you're seeing this. And on a lot of in Jeremy's last video with George, Weaponized is what it's called with a D. It showed what the baby UAPs looked like. They all looked the same. They all looked alike, like triplets, and they follow the mama. So what is in our skies? We're trying to figure that out. And I don't know if we'll ever know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen in my lifetime. It would be great, and I just feel that there's other species that just materializes. They just come into play, and they're flying all around, and they've been here probably way before the dinosaurs, and they're checking us out. Earth could be the biggest petri dish. Maybe we are an experiment for maybe one of the Sumerian gods or whoever, and they're just kind of looking down like, ooh, these humans, what are they doing? Are we advancing? What do you guys think? We're going to get to the moon? I don't know. Got past those radiation belts. Once we get to the moon, then what? And the moon is a little bit closer to Mars, and you're going to jump over there to Mars on a planet that is not terraformed, and the radiation on both the moon and Mars, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, will it be a billionaire fun spot? Go right ahead. Yeah. You can go right ahead. If that's what you want to do. I just love our planet. I know it's a violent planet. Like I said, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and everything else and you will be reading about all those things, it happens a lot around the world, devastation and things that are out of control. And some people believe we can control the weather and, you know, at a point, but maybe not really. No, I don't think so. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I have not gone a call, but you never know. Thank you we're almost over a little bit over a half hour, and I didn't want it to be too long. So I have to go in and edit this, push some hashtags so I can get some more viewers on here. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm not always on. It's been a while, but I'm trying to keep up and see you guys more. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And stay true to yourselves. Love one another. Take care of your health. And I will come back and we will talk more about, anything but politics and religion. I don't want to go there. But anyway, you guys take care of yourselves and be strong, be happy. This is Kim Ainari. Thank you for joining me at Paradigm Theories, and I will come back. And you never know, I may come back later today. I don't know. I would have to have something to talk about, but not much else is going on today in my mind. But always look up and take care. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Bye.